What's up, everyone? Hope you're doing well today. Finally broke the loss streak, thankfully, and I was actually one tick away from getting stopped out. So that would have been not funny if, like, actually would have been kind of funny if that happened. Um, but yeah, broke the loss streak today, up about like close to a grand across both of the funded accounts, which is pretty cool. They're still like heavily in drawdown because of the loss streak, so we're gonna start building our way back up. Um, towards hopefully a payout. But yeah, other than that, I would kind of walk through what I was thinking going to the day, why I took the trade, and kind of other things that I noticed that hopefully should help you guys out. But yeah, going into the day, I was already kind of looking for us to rebalance to 50% of this hourly range, just because of how high we were up in terms of premium on higher time frame. So I was looking for us to rebalance to here, right before continuing bull run. Or maybe we even dip down here, right? But short term, that was essentially what I was looking for. On the 4 hour, we put in this CISD, and I was expecting us to basically retrace into it before continuing higher, right? Going down to the 1 hour, this is essentially how I set my bias for the whole entire day. So we had this breaker, CISD, market structure shift, and then we opened up this gap that got traded back into, and then we dumped off it, forming another inverse right here. So it's pretty clear cut. The draw on liquidity was London lows, which was at 9:30 open here. I'm filming this at 10:30, so we already swept it, as well as these 15-minute equal lows right here. So those were my targets going into the day. And in my head, I was like, okay, either I'm going to catch a short down to these lows if the opportunity presents itself, or I'm just going to wait for us to retrace to 50% of this range before taking longs. So here, going into the day, let me just try to find 9:30 open. Where is it? Right here. Here's 9:30 open. So I hopped on the chart at 9:30, and there was one setup that I saw that did play out. I'm just sticking to one model, and I kind of regret not taking this because I knew this would have played out. But we had a CISD here with an inverse fair value gap, which is essentially Justin Werland's model, and we had delivery from this gap up here, right? So I thought it was pretty clear cut that we were just going to retrace into here and then continuing to dump to London lows and then the equal lows, which did happen. So kind of regret not taking that. I ended up taking this 30 seconds. So after we retraced to here, I was like, okay, since we retraced the equilibrium of this range, I can look on, the 1 minute or the 30 second to see if there is a short opportunity, which there was inside of here. So we did manipulate these highs right here, and then we tapped into this gap, which was, I believe this is a 3 minute gap, and then we had this inverse. Boom. Where did it go? Right here. There's also, if you guys are wondering why this one failed, is because there wasn't really any, um, well, for one, we weren't really delivering from any type of gap, and there wasn't really any liquidity being taken. This one worked because the liquidity was taken. Where was I? Yeah, so then we got this inverse. It immediately like went against me, which was really scary. So my fill was like right here, I'd say, and then my stop is a close above if we disrespect like essentially a PD array. So it was based off this gap. So we inverse this 30-second bearish gap, then I would have just manually stopped myself out. So it was like literally one, and then my hard stop was like probably like here or something. So it was literally like one tick away from stopping me out the hard stop. So I got really lucky there. But yeah, it kind of chopped around a bit. This price action started getting really choppy. So It was kind of terrible holding through this, but thankfully it worked out. It chopped around and it just randomly just during the macro time it just dumped, or when the macro time opened, so 9:45 down to here it dumped, and then I got out here. I scaled my first position out here, and then the rest I scaled out here. So yeah, pretty pretty clear cut. Looking back on this, I think I should have taken this one right here. It's just like I don't think I have enough conviction yet in not taking only like the inverse model that I take. But this played out perfectly right here. And there were a lot of long setups too that did fail. Reasoning for that, they were just against the draw, right? So there's this 2 minute long that looked really good because of the V shape, but we never tapped into 50% of the hourly. And that kind of goes to show like how important premium and discount is. For you guys that don't know, typically if we're up above the 0.5 in like a range like this, you just take your fib and you drop from like the most prominent swing low to the most prominent swing high. We're kind of above this 50%, then typically longs will fail. Or yeah, wait, yeah, longs will fail. And then if we're down here below the 50%, then typically shorts will fail, right? And it even goes on to the lower time frames. That's why today, when I took the short, I waited for us to first rebalance to 50% of this little range, this displacement leg, you call it, before zooming in to take what I took, right? So this. This kind of goes to show like how important premium and discount is. And that's really a reason why that when I first kind of started trading, I did take a lot of losses was because I was long too high in premium and too low in discount. Recently, the reason for the losses is really just low probability setups. And the loss I took yesterday and the trade I took today, like they were high probability in my opinion. So really proud of the trades I took. If I continue trading like this, I'll be off to the races. It's really unfortunate that the trade yesterday did lose because it would have won if I had proper stop loss placement. But we live and we learn. But yeah, that's basically kind of the daily recap. Hopefully, you guys could have learned something, um, you know, from the trade I took, as well as a little bit of the analysis and why I was bearish on the day. Yeah, other than that, I hope everyone has a blessed rest of the day, and I will see you in the next video.